They can't believe your stalkers are worried about you like that and don't understand why. All right, we're going to break it down in this video on why you have people who are following you or doing weird things around you or trying to do things that you can't explain, and why other people themselves just can't come to grips to understand what it is that you're going through. You have a particular life that a lot of people aren't accustomed to. When other people leave and do things that they normally go about their life to do or that they need to do, they may not have other people who are waiting for them or looking for them or knowing that this person is about to go do something. Whether they're unaware of it, whether they're ignoring it and acting like it's not happening, or whether it's just not happening to them, we'll never know. We're not there around them 24/7, keeping an eye on them, watching them, having steady surveillance of them. But the thing about your situation is you have people who surveil you on the everyday basis. It's nothing that you want, but it's just something that happens. It's something that you're aware of. It's not something that you're making up or something that you're creating. This is a real situation. This is something that you have to deal with, that other people try to put you through. And it's nothing that it's nothing that you would wish for anyone, but it's just something that it feels like you've been forced into. You have to experience this without wanting to be a part of it. You have people who are looking for you. You have people who are trying to find you. You have people who are like just being creepy, and it's something you may have tried to explain to other people. It's something you may have tried to make aware of to like a parent or a relative or a family member or a friend, but there are people who just aren't hip to what it is you experience. They're unaware, and it becomes frustrating, and it possibly even ended some of your relationships, friendships, ties to loved ones, because you keep trying to explain something to someone that they think is not real, or they feel it doesn't exist, or they think that it doesn't happen, and this is something that happens to you. And it becomes extremely upsetting to have people play with something that you have to go through every day or on the daily basis, because you can see it. And the only reason why you even had to bring it by someone or ask someone about it is because you didn't understand what was happening or why it was happening. But when this happens to you a lot, you tend to look things up, you tend to do research, you tend to want to know what is happening around you. It's common sense, it's natural, it's normal to want to know what you're experiencing or what's happening around you. But when you realize that it's something you have no control over, you go to ask other people, you go to try to talk to someone else. Hey, are you going through this? Hey, is this something that you're dealing with? And you have people who, for a majority of people you talk to, most people will act like they don't even know what you're talking about, or they actually don't. And where does that leave you? That leaves you upset, leaves you feeling alone, leaves you feeling like you don't have anybody in your corner or anybody to understand you. And that's not a good space to be in. But that's the space that these wicked ones want to create for you. All right, the people who do this to you are very wicked. We all know that by now. This is what they want to create. They want to create feelings of loneliness, feelings of sadness, feelings of not having anybody in your corner. And the people that you do have in your corner, those relationships, those friendships, the love between you and that family member, that's what they want to break up. That's what they want to destroy. That's what they don't want to exist. So when you go to them for help or guidance or trying to figure something out, and they tend to act like they don't know what you're talking about, it becomes almost impossible to tell like who's on your side or who's there for you, because you have something that you're going through that they don't understand, or that they don't want to think is real, or you may have to come to terms with they're actually a part of it. There are some people who have family members that are a part of this and that actually are involved in this type of behavior. So it becomes troublesome for the one that's going through this when you have people who are gaslighting you, playing with you, causing you to have self-doubt and not believe your experience. It becomes a game that people play with you and that they use against you to play with your mind. And that can make you very vulnerable, and that can make you susceptible to the manipulation of the people who are doing this. So when you don't know what's happening to you or how to deal with it, and then you have people who are acting like this couldn't possibly happen to you for whatever reason, it becomes an even far worse, difficult situation than you could actually imagine. Because you need people, you need someone to talk to, you need someone to run your experience through, or run what you're thinking through, or bounce something off of someone, or pass by something that you're thinking of, or that you're going through to someone else. But other people don't want to accept that it's actually happening to you for whatever reason. And that's never a good thing, because when a person feels alone and they feel they don't have anyone to talk to about their experience or what they're going through, or something that they had happen to them throughout the day, that could become extremely troublesome. All right, that could become troublesome, because if that person doesn't have anybody to reach out to, and they're having something happen to them that no one's there for them to talk to about, then that leaves them to think that they're all alone, or that it could possibly be something wrong with them, or that it could lead a person to a very dark place. All right, without getting into too much detail, it could lead a person to a very dark place, and you don't want to be led to that dark place. But that's the intent of the individuals who are doing this to you. So the people who you're trying to explain this to, if it's not happening to them, they can't understand why. So it becomes pointless to try to talk to those around you who aren't going through this, because they're never going to understand it, and they're not going to be able to help you. And there may even become tension. There may even become a trouble, or some type of situation between you and them, because it's going to cause a problem. Other people don't understand what you're going through, but you're going through something, and you need people to talk to. Obviously, you need somebody to run the issue by, obviously, but there isn't anyone who gets what you're going through unless they're experiencing it themselves. All right, so try not to waste time trying to explain the same thing over and over again to certain people who say they don't understand or get what it is you're going through, because it's going to be like hitting a brick wall. It's going to be like trying to do the impossible. And I know nothing is impossible to a person who believes, but there are certain things that it's just a waste of time. Trying to get someone to see something that you're going through that isn't going through it themselves is a waste of time. They're not going to have any understanding as to what it is you have to deal with. And that's just a part of life. There are things that we have to go through that other people just aren't going to be there for us, and we're going to have to rely on ourselves type thing. We're going to have to rely on God type thing. It might be something that it's just you and God, or something that you have to deal with personally by yourself. And you have to be strong enough and mentally tough enough to be able to handle that. And the people who have to go through this type of experience, that have no one to talk to, that have no one to believe what it is you're going through, you end up becoming some of, or if not the strongest people that you'll know or that just walk the face of the earth, period. Even though nothing may be physically happening to you, there are things happening to your mind. All right, there are things that you're going through mentally, and the scars that you bear mentally, nobody's going to be able to see them. Nobody is seeing the mental torture that you go through every day on a daily basis, whether it may be not non-physical, whether it may not be someone walking up to you, hitting you with something and causing a physical injury. It may not be that. But the thing is, the way psychological torture and warfare works, it doesn't have to be that. They can do things to you mentally. They can do things to you to try to bother you any way they feel the need to, any way they know that can cause an issue in your life. So you have people that can't understand. You have people that don't understand. And it's not your job to try to make them understand. Your job is to find as much peace within yourself that you possibly can. Because a person who has a goal is going to achieve that goal regardless of the circumstances. If somebody has it out for you and they're here by design, they're here on a mission, they just have some type of hatred or some type of negativity towards you, that's just what it is. That's what that person is going to have. It's nothing you can do about it except still continue to go about your life. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. So if you have people that have an issue with you, if you have people that have a problem with you, if you have people that just don't like you for whatever reason, whether you know or not, it's not your job to try to deal with other people's problems with you. All you have to do is come to terms with yourself and dealing with yourself, and that's it. You have to deal with you. You have to work on you. You have to make sure you're as good as you could possibly be, because this type of behavior takes time away from your life. All right, it causes you to focus on other things that aren't important. It causes you to waste time that you'll never get back. And that's the one thing that these types of people want to do. They want to get in your head. They want to take up your life. They want to ruin the connection between you and your loved ones, you and your family. And another harsh part of this reality is your family may even be involved. The people that you're going to try to explain this to may even be taking part in your torture. And I know that's hard to believe for some people, but it is what it is. All right. Those who are close to you may not actually have your favor in mind, your benefit in mind, your best in mind. That may not be something that moves them. You know what you want for yourself. You know what you want to do, what you want to be. You know the things that you want in life and what you want for yourself. You know what you're going through. If something is happening to you, or if you see something happening, or if you notice something, it's happening. It's nothing to dispute. And when you find yourself trying to run things by people, when you find yourself trying to get other people to hear what you're saying, or believe in what it is you're trying to get them to believe in because it happened to you, it's going to be a waste of time. And it's going to be one of the hardest things for you to accept if you can't accept it. So I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but if you're experiencing stalkers, people watching you, people acting weird around you, and other people around you aren't seeing it, or you may have ran it by them a few times and they don't know what you're talking about, don't waste your time. Don't try to get them to see it. Don't try to get them to understand it. Number one, they may be a part of it themselves. Number two, they may just not be aware. It may not be something that they're supposed to see. There are some things that some people see. There are some things that some people don't see. Some of us are made to be seers. Some of us see the evils and the negativity and the witchcraft, and we see that. Then there are those who either turn a blind eye to it because they don't know how to make any sense of it, or they just don't see it at all. So you have people who choose to ignore it because they don't know what to do with it, or you have people that just don't know what's going on. So you can't rack your brain over someone that's causing you to feel a certain way or experience something, and other people don't know or can't feel where you're coming from, because that's going to break your spirit. It's going to discourage you. It's going to make you think that there's something wrong with you when there's actually not. You're probably too real for words. You're probably too real for others to accept you. There's something within you that's causing other people to behave a certain way when they're around you. And the thing is, other people don't have to like you, and they're not going to like you, and there's no control you have over how they act to a certain extent. You don't have power over what people choose to do, but you do have power over the people who choose to do things to you. And we're going to get deeply into that in another video. All right, so you have to learn how to deal with things on your own. There's not going to be many people that can handle what it is you have to handle on the everyday basis. It's not going to be many people who are able to understand what you're going through on the everyday basis. Yes, you have people behaving strangely. You come around, they do this, they do that, they do their little strange gang stalker activity and whatnot. But it's nothing that you can control. And as harsh as a reality as that may be, it's something that you got to grow into it. You just have to know that you're strong enough to withstand it. All right. Yes, you may have people coming against you, coming for you, doing things to try and play with your mind. But sooner or later, you'll be able to consider yourself a blessed person from having to go through this, because you're going to see that it's turning you into a better person, a better version of yourself. It's making you stronger. It's not going to have the desired effect that they wanted. All right, they wanted to try and break you down, or force you into a mental institution, or make you go crazy, or cause you to react in some type of way. There are people who behave like this that have plans for you that you have no knowledge of. You don't know how you're protected, all right, on a daily basis by positive forces, positive spirits, all right, by God himself. You don't know how you're protected on the everyday basis. You may know or have an idea, but unless you can see out into the spiritual realm, some people can. You may have an idea, but there's really work being put out there for you, because you have a mission. You're here for a reason. There's something that you're supposed to be doing. You know that, and the spirit on these people know that. So the main thing for you to focus on is just God's grace, his peace, his wisdom, just being a calm person, being slow to anger. Because you have people who are purposely trying to get you caught up for the mere fact that they see that there's something going on with you. There's something more than you than meets the eye. And it's nothing you can control. God has favor on who he has favor on. He chooses who he chooses. And that's that. You have no power over that. You have no control over that. The only thing you have control over is your very own mind. The only thing you have control over is your very own being. That's it. So don't feel any fear because you have to go through this, because that's the main thing that they're trying to do to your mind. They're trying to control you and instill negative thought patterns in you. They're trying to program you with fear, with self-doubt, with negativity, and with all types of negative emotions or feelings or whatever you want to call them. They want you to be feeling bad, doing bad, thinking bad about your life, your situation, your future, your present, past, everything. The only thing that they can really have an impact on is your mind. So once you get into grasp and become better able at controlling that and controlling how you feel and how you deal with them, which is really not dealing with them at all, it's dealing with yourself. Once you learn how to deal with you and perfect you and better you and change the spirit on you, regardless of what others are trying to do, you're really going to get a hold on this program. You're really going to understand what things are really about and where your true power lies, because your true power lies within. It's like a computer or any electronic device. You see the shell, you see the outside, you see the plastic, all the wires and everything, the power's inside. And even inside the wires, you got the spirit of the electrical device, which is, if you want to look at it from a spiritual point of view, if you'll follow me where I'm going, like electricity. And we are electrical beings. So when you look at electronic devices, the only thing that gives it power or makes it work is the juice. It has to be hooked up correctly. The blue wire got to be connected to the whatever wire, black wire connected to whatever. Things have to be hooked up correctly, yeah. But there also has to be that spark. There also has to be juice. There also has to be the life of the device or whatever whatever's going to power it. Otherwise, it won't work. If there's no power, it won't work. And the word God, all that means is power. So without you recognizing your true power, things aren't going to work that well for you as far as dealing with people like this in this type of situation. You're going to be afraid. You're going to be scared. You're going to be worried about what they're going to do, what they're going to say, what they're going to think, how they're going to feel about you. These are things that aren't your concern. These are things that you're not supposed to trouble your mind with. Your mind used in a negative way, or your mind used for the sole purpose of thinking negative thoughts, is witchcraft. And that's why they're witches. That's why they're warlocks. That's why what they're doing is evil. It's causing you to think negatively about other people, which eventually will cause you to think negatively about yourself. Especially if you have people who are inflicting some type of pain or damage or torture on you, and there's not much you can do about it. This is why studying is important, reading is important, learning is important, because you're a soldier. You're in war. Even though it's spiritual war, you may not be in combat. You may not have a physical assault rifle or AK-47. Hopefully you do, stacked up in the basement with the bullets taken out according to the federal laws and government laws. But you got to make sure that you know how to handle you. Whether it's a person on a level of authority, an authoritative person with a demon on them. Whether it's somebody at your job with a demon on them. Whether it's somebody doing their job in a high up position with a demon on them. Whether it's just the people around you with demons or whoever it may be. Could be a family member. Could be whoever. You have to not have fear. You have to not be afraid. You have to stand up for what you know is right, what you know is real, what you know is true and authentic. And you got to stand for that and stand on that. And you have to believe in that. Because what you know to be real is the only thing you can trust. Your mind is God. Your thoughts are God. And it says it in more than one way in the Bible. This isn't just some mumbo jumbo I'm speaking out of my lips. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. pound the like button, pound the share button, and don't forget to subscribe. This is another video from your main man, Druuill, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.